Alright, Facebook, you asked for it, and I'm gonna give it to you. Here's the Q&A videos you've all been fucking waiting for. You know, the whole 5 of you that watch my fucking channel. Video. What's the first question?
Kat Soley asks, what's your favorite store?
My favorite store. I personally don't like stores, but I do like catalogs, and my favorite catalogs is Gypsy Rose. Next question.
Kat Soley asks, favorite style?
My favorite style. Currently, I'm really into sports bras and shirts that go down like this far, so like you can't see that I'm fat, but you can still see my stomach. Next question.
Kat Soley asks, your favorite music?
My favorite music is pretty much any type of music. I'm not really picky with music. But I can say that I love the Grateful Dead and I love Dave Matthews.
Should I say Monica Rusup then?
Yeah.
Kitty, you want film? This is a little baby right here. Little Pookie. Do you love us? Let me ask you a question. Do you love us?
Next question.
Kat Soley asks, your favorite shoe brand?
I have an obsession with Jordans. Any kind of Jordans, that's my style. But I also like Birkenstock sandals because that's the hippie in me. Next question.
Megan Elizabeth Geyer asks, deep sea fishing, is it comparable to underwater basket weaving? There is a part 2 for this.
Your friend's fucking whack.
Go ahead.
I love you, Megan.
Finish it because we're going to run out of time.
There is a part 2 for this question. Now, underwater basket weaving, does that involve longa burger and bingo?
Megan Elizabeth Geyer, that is an excellent question. Like, don't let them fool you. Number 1, underwater basket weaving is very much like deep sea fishing because you're still looking for something and you're still trying to find something to bite that hook, you know, whether it's a weaving hook or a deep sea fishing hook. Also, what was the second half of the question?
Now, underwater basket weaving, does that involve longa burger and bingo?
What's longa burger?
I would say since weaving has a lot to do with old people, that yes, it could involve longa burger and bingo. I don't know what longa burger is, Megan Elizabeth Geyer, but it could certainly involve bingo, yes. Next question.
Monica Rusup, our mother, asks, here's one for you, my love. What is the most important thing you do for your recovery and why?
That's a very good question, Monica Rusup. For my recovery, going to NA meetings works a lot. And I like getting involved in like drug awareness events. I try to work on my steps. I've been stuck on the 4th step for a while because it's hard for me to get into all that stuff. And I also just try to like realize that like living life right now is so much better than it was before. So I try not to sweat the small stuff. Next question.
Monica Rusup, our mom, asks, how do you keep yourself from losing it on bad days? And do you have any coping strategies?
Well, Monica Rusup, as you know, so that was kind of like a silly question, I lose my mind over every fucking thing. Really, I don't lose my mind. I get really anxious from everybody else losing their mind. So, like, if my fiance gets stressed out about a car payment, I start getting stressed out, so I don't cope with my stress at all when it comes to that. But other than that, I try to read, I watch a lot of YouTube, I play with my sisters or my cat, I go in and see my son. Now that it's starting to get nicer out, I'm going to start taking walks and working out, and that's a big stress coping skill. Next question, please.
April Hughes asks, what are some strategies you use to cope with recovery? Like when you think of using, what do you do, and did you pick up a hobby to help? To help you stay clean, because I was thinking about starting to croquet for a hobby.
April Hughes, that's an awesome idea. Crocheting takes up a lot of your time, and it'll definitely keep like the stress levels down. I know that over the winter, I was filling up bags for the Giving Tree in Tamaqua, and it like put me in such like a solemn, like I it didn't stress me out. It was, what's that word? It was satisfying. Like it satisfied me, and it like took away a lot of my stress. Like as long as you're doing something that makes you happy. And a lot of times anymore, I don't even think that hard about using. Like, it doesn't really come to my head as much. Like, even when times get really stressful, the longer I've been sober, like, my first thought isn't, oh, I want to go get high now. And not to say that doesn't ever happen, because it does. And for those times, you do something that is creative, or you spend time with your kids, or you spend time with your family, because then you realize, like, oh, I'm not going to do this again. Next question.
Andrew Muscati asks, do you consider your fiance to be more like Thor, Link, or Danny DeVito?
Good question, Andrew Muscati. I'd say that all three of those men really like play a part in my fiance's personality. He's very strong. He does construction work, so there's Thor. He figures out puzzles like a master, and he also likes swords, so there's Link. And he has a really weird personality, and sometimes he doesn't shower, so Danny DeVito. Next question, please.
Andrew Muscati asks, do you believe the girl from The Ring is you subconsciously, and that's why you fear her?
Good question, Andrew Muscati. No. But I do believe that my sister is subconsciously the girl from The Ring. And she looks just like her. There were nights when they were little that, like, I'd wake up to them, her standing. Come on, stop. I'd wake up to her standing over my bed in the middle of the night. And she literally looked just like her. So I think that's where my fear comes from.
She would come down the steps all crazy?
Yeah, like she just stepped on something, so she'd be all, like, frinkly. Oh. That's where my fear comes from, Andrew Muscati. Next question, please.
Jesse Muscati says, it's hard for me to ask you a question. It doesn't feel like something I would do. Haha. Look into the alien cover-up and how close we are to knowing everything about the deep state. That shiz will frick your head up. You can tell everyone about the Mandela effect when you can't even explain how it even exists.
Well, Jesse Muscati, number one, none of that was really a question. But I have been doing a lot of research on the Mandela effect, which, guys, by the way, is things that you used to think were a certain way, and now they apparently never were that way. Like the Berenstain Bears. Everybody remembers it as the Berenstain Bears. Apparently, it was never that, and it was always the Berenstain Bears. There's a bunch of other ones. If you look it up, you'll see. So I have been doing that. I might make a video on the Mandela effect too. And I've also been researching a lot of flat earth. Like, I have literally become a flat earther, guys. I don't believe that the earth is necessarily flat, but I do believe all the simulation shit and, like, all the theories that those flat earthers have. End of question. Next question, please.
April Ann asks, what's the most embarrassing thing your parents caught you doing?
Ooh, I forgot about this question, April Ann. And I've been thinking about it for the past 2 days on how I was going to answer, because I honestly don't remember my parents ever catching me doing anything embarrassing. Like, my parents knew when I had started doing drugs. My parents knew that I was having sex. And I don't think I ever remember them walking in on me during that. I would say the most embarrassing thing is I have a tendency to dance and sing in front of my mirror as loud as I possibly can. And not just my parents, but my whole family finds me doing this all the time, and that's embarrassing. Like, my sister lives downstairs from me, and she recorded me singing and sent it to me. Like, that's embarrassing. Next question.
Sarah Jean asked, how do you cope with your anxiety in your recovery?
Well, Sarah Jean, as I've already answered, I have a hard time coping with my anxiety. I freak out over really simple shit, and it's not because I'm freaking out, it's because everybody else freaks out over simple shit, and then it makes my anxiety bad. I have a very, very bad disorder, like a very bad anxiety disorder. I technically probably should see a doctor, and be on medication, but I just don't want to be on medication anymore. So I really try to get my head out of whatever situation is causing me stress. Like, if my fiance is causing it to me, I simply say, like, listen, my anxiety is getting bad, please stop. If I'm in a situation, like, I hate being around a lot of people. Sometimes I'll have to back out of that situation. If I'm forced to be in a situation that gives me anxiety, like going to see my counselor or being in group and having to be around those people, I just try to, like, think, like, whatever, like, I'll get through it, and I still have that anxiety, but I just try, like, to fake it. Question, please.
Sarah Jean asks, do you believe our loved ones who passed away are still really with us?
Yes, Sarah Jean, I really do. Not only are they in our hearts, but I do believe that their spirits are still with us. My brother passed away 10 years ago now, right? 10 years ago? And every so often up in my room, somebody literally knocks on my door, and there's never anybody there. And I can feel a presence in this house, and it never feels like a bad presence. It always feels like a presence that's, like, looking over me or trying to take care of me. So I really believe it's either my brother or my grandfather. Next question, please.
Sarah Jean asks, how did you become an addict and how did you find recovery?
How did I become an addict? I became an addict because my boyfriend at the time was shooting heroin, and my mother had been shooting heroin, and I always thought it was, like, this horrible thing. And then my mom was in a coma because she got a blood disease from using heroin. And she called me on the phone one day and was like, Taryn, there's a bag of heroin in my pocket. The nurses left it there. She's like, please get rid of it. And in my head, I was like, well, I want to see what the big deal is. I want to see why everybody puts their whole life. I want to see why everybody spends their whole life worrying about this. So I asked my boyfriend at the time, I said, you could either flush this down the toilet, or you could split it with me. And he split it with me, and then I realized why, and I fell in love with it, and my whole life went down the road. I started recovery because my current boyfriend, my fiance, and I, we were using together, and I saw how it destroyed him, and I wanted us to have a good life, and I didn't want to live like that anymore. So no matter what, all the jail time and all the rehabs and whatever else I did, that wasn't enough. Like, I literally just had to wake up one day and was like, this is enough. I don't want this anymore. Next question, please.
John Russup asks, do you think your mother and stepfather's addiction is the cause of your own addiction?
Well, John Russup, no. I don't think it's the cause of my addiction. I think with the people I was hanging out with in life, I eventually would have started using anyway. But I do think it helped my addiction because I wanted to see why it was so important to my parents and why it took over their life. And I made the mistake of deciding, like, well, this is how I'm going to find out. I'm going to try it. And I didn't realize at the time that I had just as an addictive personality as they did. So, next question, please.
John Russup asks, do you honestly ever ask yourself why you started using?
I ask myself that question all the time. And I really don't have, like, a straight answer. Like I told you before, I started using heroin because my mom had it in her pockets that day. But, I mean, I was smoking weed before that, and I was trying cocaine before that. I really think it's your environment and, how you were raised. And, I was 5 years old learning how to watch for the cops and how to drive away from them while they were chasing you. Like, so in my environment was always drug-related. But, I wasn't hanging out with the right people either, and they were all doing drugs, and I wanted to fit in. So, I mean, that's probably why. Plus, I have the addictive personality. Next question, please.
Megan Elizabeth Geyer asks, what would you say was your biggest obstacle to overcome, the thing that made you the beautiful and amazing person you are today?
Oh, thank you, Megan Elizabeth Geyer. What was the question again? I got stuck at beautiful person.
What would you say was your biggest obstacle to overcome?
My biggest obstacle to overcome was guilt. Like, for what I put my family through and what I put my son through. But honestly, now that I'm doing well, like, I realize that, like, my family, like my sisters, they're old enough, they understand. My son even completely gets it. Like, my son, thank God, is a very intelligent boy, and he knows what I've been through to a certain extent, you know what I mean? And he doesn't hold any, like, resentment, you know what I mean? Like, my son is well taken care of, and he is a very happy boy. So yeah, that's the end of that question. Next question, please.
Megan Elizabeth Geyer asks,
Damn, Megan.
how did you do it, your life? How did you make the transformation? If you were me, what should I do?
Megan Elizabeth Geyer. How did I do it? I had to fight like a fucking dog to literally choose not to do drugs. It's not easy. How should you do it? First of all, because I do know you, Megan Elizabeth Geyer, I think you really need to look at the people that you're surrounding yourself with. I think that you need to realize that your life is just as important as anyone else's, as your mom's, as your friends, and stop worrying about them and focusing on yourself and what makes you happy and content, and then you need to go and you need to do that. Also, you're an amazing, wonderful girl, and you could find a support system in NA groups, and I really, really advise you to start going to meetings. Next question, please.
Megan Elizabeth Geyer asks, in recovery, just in general, where do you begin to put the pieces back together when you're completely shattered on the floor and the world is walking all over you?
Well, Megan, that's a very good question, because in my life, my pieces were shattered all over the floor, and I'm sure that happens in a lot of people's lives. Sometimes you can't worry as much about picking up every piece. Like, you're never gonna fix everything in one day. So you take small steps, you know? You, first of all, focus on yourself and focus on your own recovery. Like I said before, don't worry about everybody else. Do what makes you happy and do what keeps your mind off of drugs. I know, Megan Elizabeth Geyer, you like scrapbooking and stuff like that. Get into that. Get really into that. When you're having a bad night and you're up all night and you're like just worried, do something that, you know, is creative. You can always message me. You can always message a friend, and you know what I mean? Like, I'll get back to you. And like I said, don't focus on all the pieces at one time. Pick up one fucking piece at a time. Make a list. You know, like start at the bottom and work your way up. And eventually, you know, you might not even fix everything, but at least you'll be at a point where you can say, like, look, I did this, and you'll feel good about it.
Hey, love.
Show Mommy and Daddy.
Where's your collar at, baby?
Show us what happened.
What happened, love?
What happened to my baby?
Where's the collar at, love?
Mommy needs to know.
Where's your collar? Where's your belt? Oh, man, yeah, she lost that shit.
Hold on, honey. Mommy's gonna figure it out. I'm not just gonna stand here like Daddy is. I'm gonna figure out what happened.
Yeah. Hey, it's okay. What are you scared for? What's wrong? I'm gonna put you down. Come here, come to Dad. What happened? What happened? Is your neck okay? Come here. Come here. Nah, she's not in pain, so she's good. Her neck's okay. I just pushed on it pretty hard. Where's your collar at, love? What happened to you? You okay? You scared? I'm sorry, we weren't even around. You probably felt so alone.
My money's on she either got stuck under the bed or she was in the hallway where she shouldn't have been
We're here, love.
and got her neck stuck on something.
We're here for you.
Mommy's gonna have to buy you a new fucking collar
I
now.
know, baby. I know. That feels good. Look at her.
What happened to my sweet, perfect baby?
You had a ball tonight. You were everywhere. That's what happens when you run around too much out of the room. Look. You learn your lesson?
No.
No, you didn't. Oh, she's loving this. Love this ocean. Beautiful. It's so beautiful. You turn into a little big cat. Look at your face. Your face is growing up. Yeah, she's a purry girl. Purry girl.
Mommy's gonna take her night medicine. I gotta clean off my bed and go pee-pee quick. Here's all your clean clothes, baby. I put all the clothes in this basket, okay?
Yeah. I'm sorry, baby. I'll be back.
What happened to my nanas? What happened?
I love what you did to the room over there.
Look it!
It's perfect.
I even nailed, because Yaya wasn't here, so I could nail something in the wall.
How'd you nail it? What'd you nail it with?
I used the your pliers, and I got a nail, and I nailed it in as far as I could, and then I didn't want that to fall off, so I tied a bow around it. Look.
Aw.
I did good, huh?
Yeah, I love it. You did awesome.
That, you know what that means now, buddy.
What?
Your area's clean, finally. Mommy's been so freaked out about it, so now you better take damn good care of it. Tomorrow, since I'm obviously not going to the doctor,
You can clean the other side of the room.
I'm gonna clean my side. I'm gonna get rid of this, because it just takes up a lot of space, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll get rid of it. We gotta throw it away.
And I'm
though.
gonna bring the big thing in and put that here, and put the books on it. I'm gonna clean up the floor.
Are you gonna be able to get that by yourself? Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem.
I'm gonna start going through my clothes. Are you filming?
What?
It's outro time, and I look like shit. Now guys, mind you, I was already out of bed today, and I'm getting back out of bed. I laid back down for like an hour because I got Drew ready for work. But the point of the story is, if you guys like that video, please like and comment. If you have more questions, if there's any ideas for other videos that you have, please leave a comment below. Please like my video. Please subscribe to my channel. Like, more things will come. Bye, bye.